around the world are in a constant state of change, just as Walt Disney wanted it. But there are a few attractions around Walt Disney World that I'm going to go over in today's video that have been around for years. I consider classics, and even though they can be upgraded for years to come, I don't believe they should ever be fully changed. I start today's video here for a very specific reason. The Carousel of Progress first came to Walt Disney World in 1975, but it's been around since the 60s. Walt Disney's own vision of a family experiencing the turn of the century. It's a moving theater. The entire theater goes in a circle. You follow the same family from decade to decade, seeing how we've made progress over time. As part of Walt's original vision, this is an attraction that I think tops the list of those that, of course, will be modified in the future. All the ones I'm going to list today will be modified and adapted for the coming years, but never fully go away. Also opening in 1975, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover has seen a few changes over the years, but it's remained relatively the same. And the line for it over the years has continued to grow and grow. Yes, there will be more changes to it, especially with the implementation of the Tron Light Cycle ride, but this is another classic that's got to stick around, a Grand Circle Tour of the Land of Tomorrow. Another Disney classic is Space Mountain. Been around for a very long time. Coming to Disneyland first, of course, but we have it at Walt Disney World. It also has seen changes over the years, and I'm sure there will be more changes to come, like more overlays, the Star Wars overlay, Halloween overlay, and more, I hope, at Walt Disney World as well. But that's another one that just kind of harkens back to Walt Disney's time. The teacups at Walt Disney World and Disneyland have been around for the longest time. Could they use an update? Sure, of course, these attractions could, but that one should never go away. Both of the attractions on my left and right, Small World and Peter Pan's Flight, opened in 1971. Two instant classics at Walt Disney World. They can obviously have reimagining, no question about it. The queue line of Peter Pan's Flight, super cool with that reimagining, and Small World every so often gets a reimagining as well. But having these classics, knowing that we're walking in these steps right here, which have been walked on by adults and kids of all ages, is just part of the magic, part of history right here. Walt dreamt of a spooky manor for years before Walt Disney World or even Disneyland were built. And in 1971, it came to Walt Disney World, and it has been a classic here ever since. One that we absolutely love. Guests of all ages love this one. It's not too scary to a point where kids are frightened by it, but just scary enough where you get kind of a chill as you walk away. Over the years, Haunted Mansion has been reimagined time and time again. You've got different heads looking at you, popping up in different directions, but it maintains that same story that Disney loved. Spooky, but not too scary. The Country Bear Jamboree is not as popular as it once was, but it's still a wild and woolly good time. Some of those classic songs stick with us for generations. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. A revamp never hurts in my opinion, but it definitely has to stay. Now, there are a few Disney attractions that we can actually see pictures of Walt Disney himself working on them, and in my opinion, one of the most iconic is the Enchanted Tiki Room, where he's actually working on those animatronic birds inside the Tiki Room. We saw it go under new management not too long ago, and we know that that revamp didn't quite work, so Disney switched it back. And going back to those classics also never hurts, so I believe this one right here is one of those icons of Walt Disney World that relates to Walt so heavily that can never go away. Pirates of the Caribbean, an attraction that inspired an entire series of movies which re-inspired the attraction. It's one that, in my opinion, cannot be replaced or changed in much of any way because it is so iconic. It has changed over the years to kind of meet some cultural norms. Some feel like that was a good change, others feel like it wasn't. Only time will tell where Pirates of the Caribbean goes in the future, but it's a classic. It's a classic. Originally opening in 1992, it's not the oldest attraction at Walt Disney World by any means, but it became an instant classic and is still to this day with very little changes to it over the years. Originally opening in 1980, the wildest ride in the wilderness offers thrills to the entire family who want to experience that runaway rail train, but not offer too much of a rough ride for those who really don't want it. An instant classic from when it first opened, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad can only get better. And when I say can only get better, I mean remain the same and always bring a smile smiles. That's what I mean by it. Now, of course, there are many more fantastic attractions besides the ones I listed here, but in my opinion, those are the ones that really make up some of the core original classics of Walt Disney World and the Magic Kingdom. Now, whether you're a Disney enthusiast or new to Disney, you may be asking yourself, Michael, why are these attractions and why are some classic attractions so important to Walt Disney World? That is such a difficult question to answer, but I'm going to try and sum it up the best I can. It honors the man who started it all and his dream and vision of the future, both of Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and more, and the idea that entertainment and family fun are timeless. To me, it's truly amazing to see that some of the attractions that he dreamed of over 60 years ago are still timeless now. How is that even possible? I don't know how it's possible. All I know is that, in my opinion, Walt Disney is a genius for being able to put together something that can be timeless like this. It's very hard to create timeless experiences. It's hard to be able to say, guests are going to love these things for 50, 60 years to come. How could Walt Disney know this? How could he know this? In my opinion, there's no answer. He just knew. He knew what would make people smile as they watched and sang along. For generations, every generation smiles and gathers to see moments like that. Now, as much as we all love and appreciate what Walt put together and dreamed up for all of us, we still have to answer the question, why bother keeping them around? Why insist on keeping around attractions that have been around for 50 or close to 50 years? The answer is, it comes down to what we love. If you grew up in the 80s, the 90s, you're growing up now, maybe in 20 years from now, you want to come back and see something that you saw when you were a kid now. So the reimagining of attractions, fantastic. Gotta do it. Delta Dream Flight to Buzz Lightyear, just as an example, fantastic reimagining. Gotta do more like that. But that's the classic that you remember. Those are the great family ties that you can come back to. You can say, my family and I had a great time here. And that is what Walt Disney World is all about. This is getting into the philosophical conversation now, but there are things that we all look for in life that make us super happy. One of those things that make many of us very, very happy is connecting with the memories that we grew up with, thinking of the people that we care about most and happy memories with them. Walt Disney World strives to provide that for you, and in my opinion, they succeed each and every day. I come in here with a smile every day because I love it, yes, but it ties back to what I grew up with, to what I loved as a child, and it's family memories here. You might be thinking to yourself, Michael, how do you know that that's the case? How do you know that you feel the way you do because it ties back to family memories? For me, it comes down to when my family is here with me, my brother, sister, mom, whoever it is, coming down here with me and experiencing it again, I can re-tie that to family memories, and because I can come into the parks, not go on any attractions or even see any characters and smile. How? Why? It's because it ties to me and how I feel about this place. Let's close today's video with that final, not to miss, gotta be here at all times, attraction and transportation system, the Magic Kingdom train. Walt loved trains. He really, really did. If anything speaks to how much Walt loved this place, it's the Walt Disney Railroad. This is one that, in my opinion, it's never gonna go away because Walt loved it so much. It's iconic, the whistle that goes along with it when it's operational, and just that feeling of going around the Magic Kingdom in style. Those are some of my favorite classic attractions at Walt Disney World that should never be replaced. Let me know yours in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.